Hello, my hairy apes. Today we're going to be talking about animal Olympics or animal contests, whatever you fucking prefer. Today we're taking a look at big brain, smart, who has the biggest IQ. Today we're going to be looking at their traits and not just their IQ level. But first, let's be our four contestants. So the first contestant we have is a chimpanzee. Now, chimpanzees are very good and very big brain animals. They are pretty much just a human, but just made out of scratch. Yeah, that's it. But also angries are, these motherfuckers are swole as frick and have the anger level of a Karen from Walmart. These guys do not fuck around. Literally. Next animal on the list. Now, the second animal on the list is none other than the chicken. Or chickens. Chickens are, chickens. Where the fuck? Chickens are pretty smart animals. People think they're fucking doo-doo heads. But, actually, they have a lot of interesting abilities when it comes to the big brain IQ. But how do they compare? Well, let's just see the other contestants is all I know. So the next animal on the list is none other than the Trodon. This one of the smartest dinosaurs, not if the smartest dinosaur out there. Trodons, as we know today, are shown by fossil studies that these guys are actually pretty smart. So yeah. Trodons are, they're dinosaurs. So yeah. It's just that. That's it. Now, a deer is the last animal on the list. Now, deer can be pretty smart at times. So yeah, let's just see how the other animals compare, eh? Well, starting with the first one, chimpanzees. Now, chimpanzees, why are they smart though? Well, it's because they're tool use. Basically, these are just humans but scratch. Anyways, chimpanzees can use tools like sticks and rocks, and pretty much that's it. They've been known to craft spears to like spear grubs and eat them. Yeah. And they also use rocks to break, stuff that they can't open, like nuts and shit like that. Chimpanzees are pretty much just cavemen, basically. But they're a lot smarter than that. And chimpanzees are pretty, they're pretty big brain. They can use tools, and they're pretty high intelligence too. They form a higher social hierarchy of, dominant males and everything. But chimpanzees are a little aggro. And by a little aggro, I mean they will literally tear off the balls of other rival males when they defeat them. Tear off the balls of any other rival males. Yeah, you heard me right. These apes will literally tear and castrate you if you get on their bad side. Also, these guys have been known to create shit like, beds. They create cleaner beds than humans. Chimpanzees pretty much just live in the trees and they live in a social group. And they're very protective animals, and that's why they've been living time. Legend has it that long ago there was a huge fucking group of chimpanzees. This is monkey story. This is big ape story. The ape big story. Great big story, yeah. And with the chimpanzees, they all live together in harmony. But everything changed when the fucking unnatural elements attacked. They freaking one type of group of chimpanzees basically just lived together. One side, there was this river. So there's this big island, and there was a river splitting between them. On one side of the river, there was the chimpanzee one group. We'll call it A group chimpanzee, and there's a B group chimpanzee. A group was like the nicer, more calmer chimpanzees. B chimpanzee was like, the big team, mean, tough man. Because on one side, on the side of the A group chimpanzees, they had no predators basically. They had a few, but they weren't major. So they basically just had to be calm, They had to work together more. But chimpanzees, on the other hand, on the chimpanzees on the B side, on group B, were had to be mean because they had a lot more predators on their side. So they need to be a lot more defensive and more aggressive. And this is the story of how the bonobo was born. Yes, but chimpanzees and bonobos are pretty much just the same thing, but once they parted because of this one singular river, then because of the natural elements, Group A, which was the nicer, calmer chimpanzees, were the bonobos. And Group B was, the chimpanzees we know of today. Bruh. Big anime story arc right there. Well, let's move on to the chicken, shall we? Okay. Anyway, chickens. Chickens are pretty smart. They can do math. And considering they're birds, they're pretty smart too. They can do math. They have basically the same IQ level, you know. They're the basic as a mammal. They can solve math, they can find puzzles, they're smart enough to form a social hierarchy. These chickens are smarter than you think they are. These guys literally can sense incoming danger, they have emotions and feelings. Scientific studies shown that these chickens, these everyday chickens you probably eat from McDonald's, is smarter than a 4-year-old child. And a 4-year-old child, according to scientists, is pretty smart for their age. So considering that these yellow fucks right here are smarter than your 4-year-old brother, it's kind of a lot to say. Considering that this yellow bird right here is smarter than the youngest in your family. But chickens, they do have their downsides though. There's a lot of reports saying that chickens can be dumb as fuck, but sometimes they can be a little crafty. They hide they can hide in the trees to avoid aerial predators. There's a rooster who is a big tough Chad chicken, and he sees a predator. He will kick the out of that predator, and do everything he can to protect his family and flock mates. Okay, third creature. Trodons were feathered dinosaurs from the Cretaceous period. They were just velociraptors with more big brain. They had they had slender necks, a toe claw, a feathery tail. Basically, everything was feathered. Basically, you just look like this, a giant big bird. Yes. Anyways, Trodon was an omnivore, considering the fact that his teeth were more like an omnivore, had some sharp and blunt teeth. They can eat meat and also eat plants too. Well, what about their big bird brain? Well, Trodons, they're pretty smart actually. They've been known to set traps, they hunt in packs, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Trodons, that's all they can do. And they also have been known to just wait patiently for their prey until the moment they just strike. But Trodons, how do they fare up with today? How smart are they? Well, according to scientific studies, it's been shown that the Trodon is the smartest of modern day ostrich. And if you didn't know, ostriches aren't that smart. But according to dinosaurs, Trodon was one of the smartest cranes the sharpest crane in the box. Wherever the saying goes. Yeah. Final animal or mammal. A deer. Yeah. Apparently deer, I put it on this list because why the fuck not? I choose 4 random animals, okay? Anyways, deer. What are deer good at? Well, deer, they when they hear the slightest sound, the slightest fucking sound, they just bolt it. They just freaking run. They just freaking book it. They can also run zigzags, they know how to evade predators. And plus, the babies or the fawns are scentless. That means they have no freaking smell. So predators can smell them. That's good. Anyways, deer, they camouflage into their surroundings, and yeah. But most of all, they just get run over by cars. Yeah. The slightest twig snap sends a deer running, but a full-fledged 1-ton piece of metal coming right through them, making loud sounds. They just stop in place and like oop, and then they get run over. Fun fact: in America, deers cause the most death. Yes, the fucking deer. This antlered motherfucker right here is a cold-blooded killer. This guy right here is a cold-blooded murderer, killing millions every single year just by being a dumbass. But hey, let's see the rankings, shall we? And the smartest animal of this list is the chimpanzee. This was no competition. Chimpanzee fucking took this. Chimpanzees are basically just humans. They know tools. They can just use a bunch of shit. And there's been reports saying that they've been crafting a couple weapons. Like spears with fucking rocks and sticks. In second place comes the chicken. Considering the fact that these chickens can, do math and have a social hierarchy, what's them in second place? Third place goes to Trodon. Now, this may upset little people, but I have my reasons. For starters, Trodon was just as smart as a modern day ostrich. And comparing to chicken versus ostrich as of today, chickens are a lot more smarter, in terms of brain powers and feats. Trodon may have been the smartest at his time, but according to present day, it was dumb as fuck. And on fourth place, we have the deer. Deers are dumb as fuck, literally. When compared to the other animals who at least achieved something during their short life, the deer just fucking they're dead. They literally get wiped out. Apparently, chronic wasting disease is out to get them. Just as the deer have chronic wasting disease, we have coronavirus. We humans have coronavirus. Also, yeah. So basically, chimpanzee from Africa takes the lead. First place chimpanzee, second place chicken, third place Trodon, fourth place deer. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. And also, don't discriminate against people. Yeah.